Hey, it's Nick, and today I want to present my idea for a .NET application that will allow a coach to score his team's games and allow fans to follow the game in real time. And I created the user interfaces using Windows Forms and Visual Studio, and there's certainly nothing fancy yet. This is just a mock-up of what it might look like, and hopefully I'll have time to make the user interface really nice. And I don't know if the whole thing is actually going to be in Windows Forms or not. I'd really like to make it a web app because I want users to be able to use this on their phone. So I've already kind of styled all of the windows in sort of dimensions that a smartphone might look like. So this is the first screen that the coach will see when he starts the application. He's going to want to be able to load his team, load an opposing team, and then start a game. So first thing he'll do is click on his load team button, and he'll have an option here to load a previous team if he's already saved his team. Maybe he wants to load it and reorder the batters or something, and I'll let him do that in here. Or you can create a whole new team. And the same thing for opposing teams. Once he's played a team before, he'll be able to load that team and have all of their names and their batting order here so that he doesn't have to put all that information in again. And the next thing he'll have a question he'll be asked: is he batting first or is he batting second? And that is going to set up the order of how he's going to see the offense and defensive modes of the coach application. And these are the main interfaces that the coach is going to use to score the game. So when his first batter is up, I'm going to populate these fields, hopefully with a picture of the batter and the batter's name and the batter history. As the game progresses, I'll have all of the player's history of his at-bats displayed here. This will be the player's overall average and the position that he plays. And the coach will just click on these buttons. He'll do strikes. When there's 3 strikes, it'll say strike out, and there'll be an out. 4 balls, and there's a walk. And then he'll have the other options for any of the other possibilities for each batter's at bat. And also he has this little area here for the opposing pitcher. The coach might want to follow some information about the defensive pitcher, how many pitches he's thrown, how many strikes and balls, that kind of stuff. So when there's 3 outs, he'll go into defensive mode, and this is going to happen automatically. Of course, the coach will confirm that he's ready to go into defensive mode. And when he does, it looks a lot like the offensive mode. He'll do the same thing, except for now this information is going to be saved for his pitcher. So we're going to have some information about his pitcher, and the coach is going to score the game. All the while, the coach is putting in strikes and ground outs and whatever is happening in the game. That information is all going to be updated on the user's application. So let's look at the user's application. When they open it, they're going to have 2 options: just to view a game and to exit. And I don't know how this functionality is going to work yet, viewing a game, but hopefully I'll be able to make it so that they can just click view game and have a list of coaches available. They'll select the coach that they want to follow, and that'll bring up the current screen for that game, whether it's offensive mode or defensive mode, and the fan is not going to have much interaction with this application. It's just something for them to look at and follow the game so that they can get very detailed information about the game, information that they wouldn't be privy to just sitting in the stands. Information about the batter's history and the pitch count and how many outs there are, and picture of the players and who's on deck, things like that. So they'll have these 2 modes, offensive mode and defensive mode, and as each batter comes to bat, they'll get all the stats for that batter, that batter's history, and then also an overall game view. And then the same thing for pitching. When their pitcher is up, they'll be following information about their pitcher. So now let's go in and look at some use cases for this. this is going to describe essentially all of the user functionality of the application. And this isn't super detailed. As you can see, we don't have a lot of use cases here, but this is a pretty high level overview of what this application is going to do. Now, first of all, we want the coach to be able to load his team, and he'll be able to create a new team or load a team from the database that he's already created. And same thing for the opposing team. Once he's played a team once already, he'll be able to load that team again, so he doesn't have to input all the players' names and positions again. And what that's going to do is get our application ready to start displaying information about the game. And the coach will hit start game, and if he's batting first, then he's going to have that offensive mode populated with his first batter, and the game is just going to progress by outs. And depending on how many outs there are, we'll know when to switch it into defense or offensive mode, and we'll also know which inning it is just by how many total outs there are. So he starts the game, and the coach is going to want to score the game when his team is batting. So when his team's batting, just like I said in the user interface, he has the offensive interface. He has all of those options to score the game while his team's batting. And then the coach will also have an option to score the game when his team is pitching. When his team's pitching, he'll be in defensive mode, and he'll be scoring that inning for his team in defensive mode. And again, that information is all sent to the user's interface in real time as the coach is scoring the game. And when the game's over, he'll have an option to save the game. And when he saves the game, that's going to call our class from the data layer, and it'll store all the information for the two teams and all the players' statistics and information for that game. And now we're going to look at a couple use cases for the fan. The fan's going to want to start the game, and when they start the game, they need to be able to pick a coach to follow. We may have both coaches in the game scoring the game, so they'll want to pick their team's coach so that they're following their team's offense and defense information. So they'll follow their teams at bat in offensive mode like we talked about already, and the fan will follow the team when pitching. And when the coach ends the game, essentially the fan will just be left on the screen for whatever the last mode they were in was, defense or offense or whatever. And obviously they'll know when the game's over. We can send them a notification that the game's over, and they can just exit their application. So let's look at the ERD real quick. Pretty much everything revolves around a player in this baseball game. So many players have one team, and many players have many games. So we have this intermediary here to associate each player to the game. And this is how we're going to be able to follow the statistics for each game. Like I said earlier, the coach may want to follow certain statistics as his season progresses, and he'll be able to find out overall statistics. What is the batter's overall average? And if they're a pitcher too, their information about pitching, their earned run average and whatnot. So that's associated with each game. And let's look at the class diagram now. Again, everything's revolving around a baseball player. And the baseball player inherits from player. And what's nice about this is I'm sure that as soon as ESPN catches wind of this awesome application, they're going to be contacting me, and they're going to want me to write an application for football games and soccer games and badminton games. So all I would have to really do is pop in a different kind of player here with associated statistics for that particular game, and I'll be able to, obviously we'd have to have some different queries and stuff in the team storage, but a few of the components will be reusable, and that will make development faster. So let's see, we got the team storage. This will be in the data layer. This is going to do all of our saving of the teams for us, and also our queries that I talked about that the coach might want to run about player statistics and team statistics and whatnot. We've got the team, the game class, and 2 statistics classes. So let's look at the, we already looked at the use cases and the ERD and the class diagram. So that concludes my presentation. Thanks for watching.